What's up, everyone? I'm gonna request Leigh-Anne in a minute. I'm very well, thank you very much. Listen, I'm not used to this live thing, so it's gonna be a little back and forth thing. Hold on, let me see. Nope. Good evening, good evening. This is some of the music that was playing in the background of Boxing Day. So listen to me while I say to you, waking up is hard to do. I cannot let you go now, for my love is strong. What?
Hi.
What? Leigh-Anne Pinnock.
God, my forehead looks so shiny. Right.
She said her forehead.
It does.
Merry Christmas, lady.
Merry Christmas.
To you
Do you like my...
and your family. Big old fams. How are you?
Do you like my tree?
I don't have a tree. That tree looks like serious.
Why don't you have a tree?
I don't have a... We'll talk about it offline. I'm gonna get a tree. I'm gonna get a tree.
Get one. Get in the Christmas spirit.
Look at that. It's beautiful. How long did that take to do?
Actually, not long at all, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it's very minimal because the babies like to tug it and pull things off. So.
And you've got two to do it. Double trouble.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Winner. Well, listen. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you're a busy lady, and I think the reason why you're joining me is that we both had such a fun time doing Boxing Day, man. It was life-changing for us both.
Yeah.
And I'm always forever going to be appreciative of you jumping on with the rest of the cast and like creating magic, man. It's like, it's always just going to be a memorable time, man. So
it was incredible.
You know, and we've got a bunch of questions. I got a bunch of questions, but I'm going to start the question with this. So there's a line in Boxing Day, right? And it goes, "Big time superstar," right? You remember? And with this line, "big time superstar," it made me think for a second. I was like, yo, Leigh-Anne Pinnock is a big time superstar, right? And when I met you, I didn't know you were a big time superstar.
You didn't know who Little Mix were?
I did not know who Little Mix were. Baiting me out. This is true.
You were
to be fair,
rock. Clearly.
I listen to jazz music and old hip hop music. To be fair, you know it as well, Lee.
Fair enough.
Give me a blind. So I was thinking to myself, all right, big time superstar. And I go to your concert this year. You invite me to your concert, your last concert. My little sister came, and I was blown away. I was just like, my God, she's truly what the line says, a big time superstar. And so my question is, what would make a big time superstar like yourself, who is so experienced in what you do, who's an expert at what you do, what would make you jump into a whole nother field called acting and think that you could go for it and do it? And did you always have the bug to do it? So it's a two-part question. What would make you do it?
What would make me be in a whole film? I mean, I'm a person that would just try anything. I always felt like I wanted to go into acting. And I remember saying to myself, I need to get acting classes, because it would have been like the next step for me, you know? Like, I knew I wanted to dabble in it, but I did not expect for this opportunity to come onto my doorstep, you know? Like, I didn't expect something like that. So, I mean, when it did come through, I was like, of course I'm going to give it a go, you know? Of course I'm going to audition. And the rest was history, obviously. I
mean, many people, a couple of questions were asking, like, did Leigh-Anne audition? Did I call her up personally? I did call her up personally, yeah. That's a total lie. So how did you first hear about Boxing Day. I mean, I'm asking you rhetorical questions I know the answer to, but how did you first hear about it? And what was it like your first audition? And then what was it like meeting with each other for your second audition that won you the part?
So my manager at the time messaged me and she was like, this has just come through for you. It looks wicked. She read the script and said that it looked really funny. And obviously it was a massive opportunity. So yeah, that's how it came in. And what was the second part of your question?
The second part is like, what was the first audition that you sent me? We're going to bait you up.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well,
we're going to bait you up today. The first audition that you sent me, on a scale of 1 to 10, what was it?
So it was a Zoom, the first one. It was a...
that was no, I'm talking about the one you sent via tape. I watched one via tape. I've got it here. I'm going to show
No,
it.
you're not.
I'm joking. So Leigh-Anne sent me this audition, and for anybody out there that's like wants to be an actor, wants to do anything in the arts or anything in life, like she sent me this audition, and it was really it just wasn't what it was. It just wasn't just so you guys, it wasn't anything like I would ever choose. I was like, what is this? Shout out to Bruce Purnell, because Bruce was like, Bruce is my writing partner. And he was like, man, I'm telling you, man, she's got something. And I watched a couple of your interviews. When I watched your interviews, I was like, rah, she's got such humanity. There's something about her as a person. Shout out to Marion John Baptiste, she just joined. I said, there's something about her as a person. Maybe like maybe if I can get her in the zone and do something, we can actually get into a place where she would be what I was looking for. And my God, between then and the first action, you walked a country mile. How was that process of getting from your first audition to when you got the part? If I tell him, do you remember getting the part? Do you remember I called you?
So yeah, no, I do, yeah. And I was just like, what? Yeah.
Right.
No, I think like obviously I was going into something that I'd never done before, you know. And like these self-tape things are kind of awkward and
weird.
hard. Like
weird.
what I had to go by was obviously like reading like the bio of the character and like I don't know, like it literally I could have gone anywhere with it, you know. But I think obviously the guidance that you gave me, like you helped me get to the place I needed to go to with Georgia. But I think as well as I sat into her and as I kind of like got to know her more and sort of lived with her and studied her, I just kind of, it just felt more and more natural, you know? Yeah.
Acting's a very strange thing. It's like people think that you read it and then you just do something. Actually, acting is like the process. It's kind of like musical performance. When you write music, you got to go through the whole process, put it into your body, look up, and then you end up, you know, the more you can be natural and honest, the more it actually comes forward. I think your defining moment, or the moment that I was like, yeah, this is going to be something ridiculous, was well, one of 2 days. The first day was the comedy day with you and Tamara Lawrence, who was exceptional in the movie. I love Tamara. When you guys were going back and forth, because comedy's quite hard, right? You guys were going back and forth about what happened with Gorgeous, and I was like, man, she's getting the rhythm, and I'm telling everyone out there, she works really hard. But the Jazz Cafe day, like that scene is, if I dare say, iconic. You know, it's definitely iconic to our film.
It is.
What
I feel like
happened to you at the Jazz Cafe day? Because after that, you were locked in, like proper, you know?
I think that day was my home, you know, like that's where I live. Like I'm a singer first and foremost. But yeah, I think having to, like when you perform, you're acting. It's a form of acting, right? Being on stage and like conveying the song, like that's acting. So I guess I just kind of felt at ease doing it, you know, like this is what I do.
Well, one of the things I remember saying to you, do you remember what I was saying to you? I was like, you're a phenomenal singer, you know, and you really are. I want you to actually more speak it and perform it from a more contained place. And in this moment, you're actually talking to Melvin and talking to someone that you once cared for and all the rest of it. And so, and like, you brought it. Like, who was the guy that was working with you as well? Both of you together, you just brought it in, and just performed a really honest piece, you know?
Yeah. Josh, my vocal coach, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the song as well, like that sort of, like the meaning of it and like the way that I sang it, like telling that story. Because it is, I mean, I say that it's a form of acting, it is, but like actually being in the scene and like singing you and like, it was just, there was so much going on. Obviously there was a crowd of people as well. So like the nerves were bubbling away.
And was that your first time you'd sang by yourself in a long time? Like publicly? Wow.
I remember saying it to you, like, this is, I haven't done this since I was a little girl.
Wow.
Like, well, yeah, my audition.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, to me, it's a truly stunning moment in the movie. And it's the moment in the movie that I feel like you're with the characters, you're with myself and Asia, Naomi King, who's wonderful in the film. Like, you're with the whole family, and then you're really into the arc of the stakes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there is a stake situation happening there. And, you know, I loved it so much that I put it on my Instagram. It's like the scene, and just the way the lights changed and all of that. It's just such a great scene. And I think that's one of the best. I think that's one of the scenes I told you, I first showed you before we ended. I was like, come watch this. Like, it's rocking.
I remember, and was it when
we're
I came?
We're all in the trailer, and I was like, come and see this, you know? And you bust a little tear, a little thug tear. A little thug.
I'm in a movie.
I'm in a movie. I was like, wow, wow. All right, so listen, I've got a couple of questions from different people. Oh, so this is from Matthew Zamias, who's our producer. Question is, what do you and, should I do in his voice? What do you and Melvin and Georgia have in common with Mel and Leigh-Anne, and how are they different? So what do you have in common with Georgia, basically, would be a question.
Oh, what do I have in common with Georgia? It was actually quite strange because I feel like her bio was very similar to me. Like, obviously, both pop stars. Dreams kind of like happened overnight. Like a very, very relatable person. And you kept on saying you were looking for someone that had that, what was the word you always say? The humanitarian. What did you?
Humanitarian.
Humanity,
yeah.
So like, I think like we shared that, and what was different? I don't know. I feel like we were very similar, which was also like kind of a hard thing. But trying to like not do my mannerisms and like what I would do, but then also having those similarities like was quite challenging, I think.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you think?
Entertainingly enough, I think I'm quite, you know, I think there's quite a difference between me and Melvin, but I think what we share is the family. Like, family's a big, important thing to me. I love my family. This film's a dedication to my family and to families like in and across London, you know, the UK, you know, Black families that are not in the UK that have never really had a film that centers around them when it comes to love and family and celebration of life. So, you know, that's what I would say is similar, you know, but differences, there's definitely differences. Any breaking news on a sequel? Would you even want to do a sequel? Or are you done with acting?
To you.
Are you done with acting?
The burning question, is there going to be a Boxing Day 2?
Would you act again in Boxing Day 2?
Yes.
So I can call you up and you're not going to like give me like your manager and your sister and everybody else.
The question is,
block.
Going to add Georgia into Boxing Day 2? Or are you going to cut me out?
I wouldn't cut you out. I would. Do you know what? I've got like a couple of directing offers next for me to do some stuff, and I got some things I want to do as a director, and I'm just oscillating between whether or not I'm going to do a Boxing Day 2 or not. It's definitely possible, and if the people want it, then I'll do it for the people. You know? The dog saying,
2
All right.
seconds. Right, come.
I'm going to find some more of your questions, guys, while I'm on here. All right.
Stop it.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas, by the way. It's like some eggnog thing.
Right, if they start again, I'm going to have to go outside, honestly.
What was it like shooting during COVID? Ronnie,
To be fair,
Gina, Wagwan. What was it like shooting during COVID?
I feel like you managed to do everything you wanted to do, like regardless, like you got it done. But I don't know what was different. I can't even think.
Well, listen, but for you, you don't know the difference because this is your first time on set, right?
Oh yeah.
So like, so for you, for me, and to be honest, it's my first time directing. So the constraints were definitely different. I think we got in at a time before it got really crazy. Just before we shot this, like November, December 2020. I think I think we live in a post-COVID world because I've been on sets like 4 times since, and the COVID precautions are still there, and time. But in any movie, there are always time constraints. But
yeah,
we don't know is the answer to that, I reckon. First, between professional acting, do you plan on going for more movies and TV roles? Would you like to continue this journey as a actor?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the right role comes, the right thing, then yeah, 100%. I feel like I just want to keep learning as well, like in working on my craft. I think I've still got a lot to learn, but
are there any actors that that you admire, like in the world of acting? Any women that you admire, or
Oh well, Zendaya, you already know that.
Zendaya,
love her so much. Actors.
Would you be willing to go that far for a role? Like what she did with Euphoria is pretty extraordinary,
Yeah, that's the word, extraordinary. 100%. I would love to build something, like come up with an idea, like kind of like what you did for Boxing Day, like have an idea and say this is the character I want to play, something like that. But
maybe as a singer, you should do something like Sade one day, maybe in a few years. Don't know. Maybe.
But it's out now, isn't it? It's in the universe, so.
It's in the universe. Was pointing out. All right, cool. What was the hardest film? What was the hardest scene to film? I'll speak first as a director. The hardest scene to film for me. Do you remember when I was trying to get that one-up, where it's like basically me and Asia drive around the corner in the Range Rover. We get out of the Range Rover, bump into them. Then the guy comes and interrupts. Then I leave. No, I leave. Then the guy interrupts. Then you put you in the car, and then we go up. That shit took half the day.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, because when you watch it, it's like obviously being in it. Like I don't see everything that you're filming, so then watching it back, I'm like, oh, that's what he was doing.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a little sequence, like a
I love those ones, man. I love those ones, and that's something I just love the choreography in stylistic filmmaking, and with Boxing Day specifically, I wanted to make a film that didn't feel just like gritty London, which I've done a lot of those films, which are great, but something that felt, in a sense, a bit elevated and a bit magical. Because I don't live here and I've not lived in London for a long time. When I come back with like those emoji eyes of like, oh shit, there's Baker Street. Oh shit, there's there's Harrods. I get all starry eyed about it. And so I wanted to give it that kind of romanticism, For you, what was the hardest scene to film?
Hardest scene to film. Oh, I think the one with Asia by the pool. Was the hardest. Because I remember I got really emotional the first time we did it. And then I think because you do so many takes, sometimes the first one is the best because it's like that raw emotion, and weirdly I felt like I could relate to some of the scenes. I spoke to you about that, so I just so naturally I was just getting emotional, which kind of works in my favor, I guess. But then I remember as I kept doing the scene, you was like, right, go to your room and just think about that emotion more, and I was like, oh God, am I doing it wrong? And I started getting like really nervous and like oh, I don't know, like doubt myself in that. And then I went back to my room and like I was just like basically just what you said, and I was getting into it as much as I could, listening to sad songs, like trying to get myself like prepared for it. God, it's mad.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I feel like it was a really beautiful scene.
Yeah. It's you know, acting's a strange fruit in the sense of like you prepare, you get yourself there, and then you fundamentally have to kind of let go and actually engage with the person in the moment. And I feel like, you know, Asia was fantastic in arresting your attention and yourself as well, just letting go. You know what I mean? So I thought that was dope. Well done,
Yeah,
Leigh-Anne.
well, I couldn't have done it without like the actors. Like Asia like helped me so much. Like Tamara helped me, like Shay, like everyone, like it was just a wicked team. Wicked people.
But we had mad fun on that film. It was, to be honest, like for me, I wanted to set a set that felt like I was at my family's Boxing Day parties, which are like an annual thing. And so what did I do often? To much to people's chagrin, I would have music playing on this little boombox wherever, and they'd be like, "Where's the melt? Where's the melt? Oh, he's coming! I can hear him coming." You know, I was a DJ for a bit.
6 in the morning, you come in with like, "Hey, with your box," you're like, "Oh, shut up, God.
Shut up! It's too early for this shit."
Oh,
Okay, here's an interesting question that's a bit off Boxing Day, but it's a fan question to you. How do you fight through the tough days when you're trying to make your dreams come true?
oh wow. Wait, how do I fight
Like
the tough days?
like when you have a tough day of artistically, I think they're about like how do you fight through and get through to get to your dream, get to your goal. So like for me, if I was having a shit day as an actor, what would I do to fight through? I think they're saying. So that question goes to you as an artist, full round.
Well, I think before I got into Little Mix, I had so many knockbacks. Like you wouldn't believe. Like it was just so many people was telling me that I wasn't going to amount to anything, or just like haters. But the thing is, I never ever let it keep me down. Like I would always get back up. I dust myself off, and I would just keep going. And I just didn't stop believing in it. As corny as it might sound, I genuinely didn't stop believing. Nobody was going to stop me from making my dream come true. Like I was just set. Like that was the only thing that was going to happen. I was going to be a pop star. Like that was all I said to myself. Yeah, I think when you're having one of those days, you just need to pick yourself back up and remind yourself of who you are and how incredible you are, and just go for it. And Kyra agrees. Kyra agrees.
Got some big bugs.
All right.
You good?
Come on. Do you guys like?
You got some big dogs, man. Those are some big dogs.
Please.
Sound like Beethoven, the movie.
Come on, get that. Go on. Honestly, they just like to get involved in the conversation. That's all it is.
Hear it. No, but you know, I want to say regarding that with you, I learned that from you as well. You know, I'm a solidly determined person, but that unwavering commitment to your personal magic is quite a thing, man. And I really respect that about you. What was your favorite moment of Amel's performance in the movie, and how about you, Amel? What was your favorite performance of Leigh-Anne's moment in the movie?
My favorite moment
the movie
that you did was the scene there that you filmed with in the bar.
Oh, with my dad.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful, but also the jazz cafe scene when I'm singing. I think I remember watching it like, come on, Mel, you're sick. You're pretty good, aren't you?
You're pretty all right, yeah.
Actor. I thought you were amazing in that. And And I think that like that helped me like do what I needed to, you know. That's that honest emotion was wicked.
Yeah, I'd say the Jazz Cafe scene for me with you as well, but also there was a moment with ZZ Mills, when with ZZ, and you're just walking by, right? And then you get into a particular focus. But for me, it's a bit different because I'm watching an actor develop, you know, everything that you are outside of that didn't really matter when it came down to getting the job done. And me and you spoke a lot about the fact that, look, people love you as a musician and all the rest of it, but if it's dead, it's dead. And people are not, you know, everyone's got their opinions about anything in life, but you know, everybody watches this film and goes, this woman did a very solid job and turned up and was honest. And so for me, it's an entire thing. For me, I would say there's so many amazing cast members. You know, I love the moment with Marion Jean-Baptiste and Richard when they, you know, outside the Brent Cross.
Oh,
that's an amazing moment. I love the moments with Shay Cole and Samson KO of them running and that whole cape or the fight inside the rooms. You know, I love the moments with the auntie and uncles because it's literally my auntie and uncles that I literally stole all of that. So, you know, those would be some of my favorite moments as well.
Oh, right, one of my favorite scenes was the nativity play.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Robbie G.
Yeah.
Shout out to Robbie G.
In Perez, I was honestly like so jealous that I wasn't there. That was such a beautiful. Yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah, we got lucky, man, because the music in the movie is just phenomenal as well. Like these are some real classics, and for me, what was really important to me was to show the diaspora of like black music, from, you know, Afro beats to Caribbean to British old school pop to ska and, you know, old school reggae. It was really, that's what I wanted to do. All right, let me see if I've got a couple more questions before I leave you and to your dogs then. Right. And if you have any questions or any thoughts, please shout out.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question that's non-related. I'll wait for that one. That one's about you. 1 second. Boxing Day was your directorial debut. Very well done. Thank you. Can you tell me a bit about the challenges you had transitioning from actor to director and how you overcame them? Can you leave a word of advice for aspiring directors such as myself? Okay. One of the biggest challenges, I think, because I've been like aiming to direct a movie for a decade, longer. I grew up wanting to direct and act, so it wasn't a new thing that came to my mind. But one of the biggest challenges is having people believe in you and say yes, you know. And between Warner Brothers, Film 4, BFI, these guys believed in me, and they took a chance on a first-time filmmaker, and that's always a hard thing to do. But I think what I did when I started making a little bit of change back in 2010 is I started taking my money and making short films. You know, I made a lot of short films, like maybe 3 or 4 short films that helped to get to a Boxing Day. You know, in your creative pursuits, that's what's important. If I pick up my camera phone, like, I think these camera phones are wicked these days. If I pick up the camera phone, I'm all of a sudden shooting something, and then I edit and I put music on it on my Instagram or whatever. I'm always constantly creating. And I think one of the biggest things is the challenges is getting someone to say yes to your dream. But one of the biggest challenges as well is like not waiting for them to say yes, being ready, being the person that's ready when the time comes. So, and then other than that, I think it was kind of seamless. Like I love directing. I really do. One of the things I love about directing versus acting, when I'm acting, I usually have really intense parts. That's kind of my shtick. And it makes you unable, for me anyway, to be as sociable with the crew and the people as you'd want to be, as I would want to be. And when I got to direct, it just got to be like I got to be with everyone and got to know everyone and just have a good time. So that's one of the things I love about it. Singing, transitioning from singing to acting. You spoke on it a little bit, but
yeah,
it's not quite. Do you think it's comparable or not quite comparable? And what's one of the frustrations for you when you're on set? Like, is repetition annoying for you?
Oh, To be fair, we didn't like it wasn't monotonous. Like you didn't ask us to do it 10,000 times. I feel like when you knew you got it, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, yeah, what I kind of spoke on it before, like getting that emotion at the first take and then having to redo something that I have to be emotional about. I'm like, that's hard. Like if you're repeating something to get that raw emotion is like quite, yeah, that is hard. But yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't know what to expect going into this. Like I took a chance on myself. Like I never acted before, so I did it. I did it in school. I knew it was something that I wanted to do. I don't know why, but I felt like I had it in me. But yeah, I think it's definitely unlocked something now, and like I have to do more. Like I've definitely got the bug for it now, for sure.
Bug.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the closing questions. Question one, what movie would we do again? Would we do a movie together again, like you and I? And what genre would it be, was one of the questions. What genre would you like it to be? If we and would you even work with me again? You know, I know, yeah.
Pretty open.
Hello, Alicia, my sister. Sorry, go.
No, of course. I want to do like a sort of crime drama thriller. I'd love to do something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
But yeah.
For me, genre-wise, I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be interesting for people to see a departure for you, like for you to fully like engulf yourself in something when you have time, and like they're like, whoa, she was great in Boxing Day, but in this thing right here, it's mad because like, you know, and I know you got it in you, you know, you're a bit. I know that, you know what I mean? All right. People want to know about the song "Woman."
Oh yeah.
Just answer me again, please.
Huh? Yeah, we got to talk about it.
Okay. Last question. When's your album coming?
Wait, we didn't talk about "Woman." I thought you just said "Woman."
No, people want to know when is it being released, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, when's the soundtrack coming out?
Well, the soundtrack technically is out, but your song, your two songs, wake me up, man. Your two songs, we have to keep talking to the powers that be regarding it, okay. because they are big time superstar. Yeah.
No, but I do feel like the demand is high for Women. Like the fact that it was
high.
Like,
I get messages like, "Yo, so what are you gonna do?"
It's a beautiful song. I mean, it has to have a moment. It just has to. I just don't know. Yeah, when, but it will.
I've heard, and guys, just to really piss you off, I've heard the full version. It's deep.
I can't.
Your full version, amazing.
I can't believe people haven't actually heard the full version of it. That's mad.
Yeah, the full version is mad. It's dope.
Wow.
Because you know we're all fans. When's your album coming out? When you doing it? You can not answer this, but I had to ask just so that people don't think, why is he not asking?
Do you know what? I haven't actually spoken about anything.
Cool.
So
then don't talk about it.
I mean, I'm working on stuff and I'm really excited. But I don't want to say obviously when, because we're not even in talks about it. I don't. But it's coming. I'm super excited, and yeah.
So I look forward to hearing it. And with that, guys, here is Santa.
Hey, Santa.
Ghana. What happened, Santa? Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, all right. And here is Boxing Day DVD. Yeah. It's mad. I went to the DVD shop. I was like, oh, I didn't even know they do DVDs anymore. But I went to the DVD shop and actually bought this, and it feels really special to actually hold it in your hand. So if you're into Boxing Day, this is not a commercial, but if you're into Boxing Day and you love the movie, and, you know, you want to be a part of the history that we're making of it, grab that, download it, and just mostly, man, go watch it with your family during the vacation, the holiday season. Like, you know what I mean? Just watch it with your family, and you know, I think it's a film with a lot of heart, really strong performances. And I think it's just something that can keep going on and on and on. I want it to be a part of all the classics that I've loved, you know. during my time, you know.
I think
So
that's so special about it, the fact that we get to watch this every year. Like
yeah,
it gets to come around every year. So
yeah, man.
amazing.
All right, Captain. It was nice speaking to you.
Thanks for having me, darling.
All righty. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us. See you on the other side.
Bye.
Peace.
Right.
Peace.